Hello students, today we are going to do the chapter number 2 of Vistas, that is the Tiger King. Now I'll be doing the chapter paragraph by paragraph, and let me tell you what is the story in brief, in short. Later on, because I'll be reading the complete story, so there is no point doing it in detail. We will obviously do it in detail. The story is about a king who tried to avert his fate. Fate, destiny. What we call in Hindi Kismat. So he tries to change his destiny. He tries to avert his fate. He has been told by some astrologers at the time of his birth that you will face you will face your end. Okay, death will come to you at the hands of a tiger. Okay, so what does he try to do? He says, okay, it is the tiger that is going to kill me. So let me start killing tigers. So he killed 100 tigers. But as the prediction was that whatever number of tigers he may kill, but he will face death at the 100th tiger will be the one who will make him meet his end. So the prophecy came true, and he died due to a tiger. The circumstances were a bit different. It wasn't a very real tiger. It was a wooden tiger. That all we'll do in detail as we proceed with the lesson. So it is about, you can say in short, it is about a king who was trying to change his destiny. He was trying to avert his fate, his end, in which he obviously didn't succeed. So now we come to paragraph number 1. Now you will find there are a large number of titles given. The Maharaja of Pratibandhapuram is the hero of the story. That is the name of the Tiger King. And there are a number of titles that are given. So now let me give you a little bit of background into the story. What is the setting of the story? The setting of the story is it is written in the times when India was being ruled by the British. Okay, and as you know, the British had they were ruling India in two ways. One is by direct rule, and the other is they had given their supporters, their loyalists, their faithful, they made them the Raja or the Maharaja or the Nawab of some place, and they were the puppet kings. They did not have much power, and the British they used to confer. Confer means to give a reward, titles, like you see large number of titles here. You have His Highness, Jamadar General, and Maharaja Dhiraj. A large number of titles are here, which shows that this man was a loyalist. Okay, this man was a loyalist, means he was loyal to the British, because at the time the British were ruling over the country. And there is some, now why are such a large number of names given? These large number of names show that, oh, he must be a really powerful king. But this story has satire. Satire is to make fun of people, ideas, thoughts. Satire. It's kind of making fun of. It's a kind of a humor. Like you see in the newspapers, you may see cartoons of political leaders. So that is satirical. And in satire, there is a lot of exaggeration. Exaggeration, in Hindi we call it atishokti. When we try to describe a thing in very high flown terms, like here, a single title, the Maharaj, is enough to show that he was a king. But what we have like 7 or 8 titles, large number of short forms also, which you can't make sense of. So the author Kalki is trying to make fun of this Tiger King. He's saying, look, he had this large number of titles, but as we proceed in the chapter, we will find that he does not enjoy any real power. As all of you know, in British India, they were just puppet kings. They did not have any say in the policy matters like foreign affairs and the army. They had just some small number of affairs they could take care of. So then he says, I have come forward to tell you the second paragraph. Why he came to be known as the Tiger King. In the second paragraph, he talks about why he was known as the Tiger King, and then he makes a reference. You will read the second paragraph, you won't find much difficulty, but then you will come to a reference. Even the threat of a Stuka bomber will not throw me off track. What is the Stuka bomber? You might feel curious. What is the Stuka bomber? So Stuka bomber was a kind of an fighter aircraft which was used by Germany during the Second World War. And this Stuka aircraft, it had a very typical kind of sound, very shrill kind of sound. And when these bombing raids took place, the Germans conducted bombing raids. So these Stuka bombers, they made very terrifying noise. Terrifying, a noise which will strike fear in your hearts. They created a lot of terrifying noise. So people were, when they heard these bombers coming, they were struck with fear. So coming to the third paragraph, again there is something you can read about it. Fourth paragraph, the manner of his death is a matter of extraordinary interest. It can be only revealed at the end of the tale. The most fantastic aspect of his demise was that as soon as he was born, now this is something you can underline. As soon as he was born, what happened? Astrologers had foretold that one day the Tiger King would actually have to die. Strange thing at the time of his birth. The astrologers foretold that he will have to die. Now, don't you think? Don't you think it's strange that a person who is born, somebody has to tell him that he will die. Every mortal that is born, be it a living creature, human being, plant, animal, everything has to die. Obvious. Nobody has to tell us about that. So what did the astrologer say? Next paragraph says the child will grow up to become the warrior of warriors, hero of heroes. So they made large number of predictions, very good predictions about him. He will be such a great king. He will be such a famous king. He will be such a powerful king. Then they say there is a secret which should not be revealed at all. Reveal you need to tell. They say there is one secret we cannot tell. What is that? The child born under this star will one day have to meet its death. That is, this astrologer says, one day this child will have to meet his death. Fine. At that very moment, a great miracle took place. Miracle, something very surprising thing took place. An astonishing phrase emerged from the lips of the 10-day-old Jelani Jung Bahadur. Now, examination point of view, very important paragraph. You can get a question in the exam. What surprising thing happened? What surprising thing happened at the time of his birth? Okay. What is the miracle that took place? Now, don't you see it's a miracle? 10-day-old child speaking. What does he say? Oh, wise prophets, it was I who spoke. So when the child spoke, these prophets means the messenger, these astrologers, they were quite surprised. Who's speaking? And they looked around, they found. He said, okay, I am the one who's speaking. Look towards me. This time there was no grounds for doubt. It was the infant born just 10 days ago who had enunciated the word so clearly. Enunciated means pronounced, expressed, said. The chief astrologer took off his spectacles and gazed intently at the baby. Again he repeats his prediction. All those who are born will one day have to die. We don't need your predictions to know that. There would be some sense in it if you could tell us the manner of their death. The royal infant uttered these words in his little squeaky voice. Now, what the astrologers foretold, predicted, he is raising questions on that. What does the infant say? He says that, okay, we know that we are going to die. Every person that is born on this earth will have to die. It is common knowledge. Nobody needs to tell somebody about that. We don't need predictions. You will have to tell me what will be the manner of the death. Now, you all of you know death is a certainty of life. Every mortal has to meet his death. But the manner of death is different. Somebody may die due to some natural causes, disease, illness. Somebody might commit suicide, other may be murdered, some other may be burned. So there can be different manners. So he asked, what is the manner of the death? The chief astrologer placed his finger on his nose in wonder. A baby barely 10 days old opens its lips in speech. Not only that, it also raises intelligent questions. Incredible. Now, what was so surprising to the scholar? What was so surprising? The surprising thing was number one, a 10-day-old child speaking. Number one thing that surprised him, 10-day-old infant speaking, which doesn't happen. You don't find a 10-day-old infant speaking. So 10-day-old infant speaking doesn't happen. Moreover, he did not just say something stupid, something foolish, something nonsense, like a child talks, meaningless things. A 10-day-old infant speaking, asking very intelligent questions. What is the question he asks? He says, what will be the manner of the death? So first thing, in a 2 marks question, if you get, you will write it like this. The astrologer was surprised on 2 reasons, for 2 accounts. Number one, a 10-day-old infant speaking. One. Number two, not only just speaking, but asking intelligent questions about the manner of his death. So how does he respond to this? He says, the prince was born in the hour of the bull. The bull and the tiger are enemies, therefore death comes from the tiger. Right? So he says, because he has been born in the hour of the bull, and the bull and the tiger are enemies, so his death will come at the hands of a tiger. That is the prediction made by the astrologer, which he makes clear when the infant asked him some questions, intelligent one. So what was the prince terrified? No, he wasn't terrified. Even when he was a young child, or only not even a child, an infant, 10-year-old infant, he did not feel afraid. He did not. He gave a deep growl. Growl, growl is associated with the sound of a tiger roar. Before the roar, there is a growl. Terrifying words emerged from his lips. Let tigers beware. Okay, so this happened when the Tiger King was born. Now the Tiger King grows up. Fine. Second part of the chapter. We come to the second part of the chapter where the Tiger King has grown up now. Now, another important part, like I mentioned, satire. Now here we have a satirical description of the upbringing of this child, of this Tiger King, or you can call a prince when he was young. See, Crown Prince Jung Bahadur grew taller and stronger day by day. No other miracle marked his childhood days apart from the event already described. Now, the satirical things are this. The boy drank the milk of an English cow, was brought up by an English nanny, tutored in English by an English man, saw nothing but English films. So, don't you find it a bit unusual? Everything, there's a lot of stress on English, England. Now, why is it so? As the crown princess of all the other Indian states did. Now, crown princess, like we talked about it, the British ruled India in two ways. They had given the principalities, small kingdoms. They made Nawabs, Maharaja, Raja of some particular kingdom. And that person that he was considered a king without any real power. And these kings, because they were very loyal and very faithful to the British, what did they do? They tried to adopt all the language, custom, culture, way of dressing, way of eating, everything, everyday life. So British, the Englishmen were their role models. They were so overawed by them. They were so impressed by them. They tried to have a role model in the British, and that also shows the lack of pride in our own culture, in our own country, and for our own motherland. So same we see here why he wants to erase any signs of Indianness. He wants the father of the Tiger King. He brought him up in such a manner that like he should resemble the British. None of India should be him. Nothing Indian should be him. Everything should be English. He should bring the milk of an English cow. Now he's going to ridiculous lengths, going overboard in avoiding any Indian touch to this child. When he came at the age of 20, the state which had been with the court of wars until then came into his hands. Now he becomes the king. The Tiger King becomes the real king now. But everyone in the kingdom remembered the astrologer's prediction. Now the prediction he came to hear. Somebody must have told him that there is a prediction about you that you will die at the hands of a tiger. So what did he do? He says, let me kill a tiger. The Maharaja started out on a tiger hunt. And he killed his first tiger. When he killed his first tiger, what did he do? He called the astrologer, the one who had made the prediction. He called that astrologer and told him, look, see, I have killed the tiger. What do you say now? He demanded. Your Majesty may kill 99 tigers in exactly the same manner. The astrologer is saying, you may kill 99 tigers like this. But what? Speak without fear. And if you have the following it in the book, you should underline it. You must be very careful with the 100th tiger. This is the thing you have to be very careful. You can kill 99 tigers. You have to be very careful with the 100th tiger. And the Tiger King is very proud and obstinate. He said, what if the 100th tiger were also killed? Then I will tear up all my books on astrology, set fire to them, and I shall cut off my tuft, crop my hair short, and become an insurance agent. Look, what does this man say? The astrologer. If he says, if you kill the 100th tiger, then I am going to do these two things. Some things. Number one, remember it. Tear up all my books on astrology. Reason, what does this show? It shows, like if you tear away something, it's of no significance. You have lost faith in that. That is why you are tearing it away. So he says, it shows his confidence in his knowledge. He says that if such a thing happens, then what will I do? First of all, I'll tear away my books. Number one. Number two, I shall cut off my tuft. Tuft, this choti. Cut it off. Third, crop my hair short. Won't have long hair, cut them short. Number four, become an insurance agent. Means I will give up the profession. Of what? Of prediction, of astrology, of making predictions. I'll give up on it because I have nothing to do with it. I have lost faith in it. So what does this show? These four promises he makes, that if you kill the 100 tiger, I'll do these four things. Why? Because he knows it can't happen. Fate, destiny, luck cannot be changed. It cannot be erased. You can't make any alterations and changes in it. He knew this on the basis of his knowledge of astrology. So this shows the astrologer's firm faith in his knowledge of astrology. Right? Now we move to the third part. I hope you are following it in your books. From that day onward, it was celebration time for all the tigers inhabiting Pratibandhapuram. So now the king has only one thing to do. He says, I'll hunt tigers only. Nothing. So first thing he did. State banned tiger hunting except the Maharaj. Now, the state means the government of that state, means the government of the king. What did the state said? Nobody can kill tigers. At that time, anybody could kill tigers. It is not like today that tiger hunting is banned. At that time, there were a large number of tigers. You could just go and kill a tiger. Nobody would stop you. So, the state banned tiger hunting. Only the Maharaj. A proclamation was issued to the effect that if anyone dared to fling so much as a stone at a tiger, all his wealth and property would be confiscated. Look, what kind of law was made? The law, now, what is it? There's a satire, there's irony also, there's humor also in this lesson. Look at the law. What law should be just, means everybody is equal in the eyes of law, You cannot have one law for the rich and the other law for the poor. We will have equal laws. But here there is a law. Tigers cannot be hunted by anyone except the king. So here the law is not bringing equality and justice. And it says that there is punishment also. If anybody tries to not hunt but even throw a stone. This tiger was sleeping and you threw a stone at it. Then what will happen? All his wealth and property will be confiscated. It will be taken away. It will be taken away by the state. Wealth and property. You will lose everything. And the Maharaja says, okay, now I am not going to do anything else. Only thing I am going to do is to hunt tigers. As a king, he has large number of responsibilities. He is the one who is he is responsible for everything in the state, welfare of the people. Okay, the betterment of the people, prosperity of the people, and thousands of things he has to look about. But he says, no, nothing. One thing I'm going to do only now is to kill tigers. And he started hunting, so he was quite successful. Then he killed a large number of tigers. It wasn't that sometimes the tigers were quite, they gave him a tough fight, but he did not feel scared, he did not feel afraid. And he continued his hunting of tigers. Okay, so I'll stop there because next part is a very important part which can be a long question, which I'll do in great detail. So my advice to you, just read the lines and follow the lecture. And until next time, bye.